The bomb exploded just after midday as the victim was travelling in his car along a better parade in East Belfast. One eyewitness described how the vehicle was blasted across the road by the force of the explosion.
I was sitting in the car and all of a sudden I just seen an explosion. The car coming straight for me and then it went out round me. Lucky enough it escaped me. Up onto the platform lawn and down in and headed down into the gap. And the missus was just coming out through it at the time and I shouts at her for the run. If she hadn't run, she'd have got it.
In a follow-up operation, police and troops sealed off the area. A short time later, the DUP leader Ian Paisley arrived at the scene.
Yeah, well, I live, as you know, in this neighbourhood and I've lived here for a very long time. And of course it's absolute abhorrence and revulsion. And I understand it's a senior prison officer who has been so brutally done to death in this savage and wicked manner. And of course it completely revulses and is held with abhorrence by every right-thinking person in this area. But the tragedy is that this is only another gallant man done to death in a long list of gallant people who have been done to death, and the security forces are not given the sinews of war, they're not given the finance, they're not given the opportunity to deal with it.
The second explosion happened just after 4 o'clock at the former Midland Hotel in North Belfast. The bomb was in a car left in a park at the rear of the building, which now houses a number of offices and small businesses. It started a fire and there was considerable damage. A warning had been given and the area cleared before the blast.
Prison officers from the south and from Britain attended the funeral, along with unionist politicians, including the Reverend Ian Paisley, the DUP leader, and security force representatives. A service was held at Mr Armour's family home in the Castlereagh Road area of Belfast, where he lived with his wife Jean and two grown-up children, Brian and Dawn. Afterwards, over 100 prison officers marched in rank behind the cortege for a time. It was led by a piped band from the prison service. The burial took place at Drumbogue Church of Ireland Cemetery on the outskirts of the city.